by somebody.
Regardless of how hard life people Abuja, because your voice matters.
Hey guys, check this out.
Every night, stories develop. So no matter where or how you want to end your day, the Evening Rush is here, keeping you informed, safe, and educated. Take a deep dive into all the stories live from wherever you are. Let's talk news in a way that makes sense to you. The Evening Rush, weeknights from 6:15 p.m. only on VOP 96.1 FM Abuja.
Looking at all the headlines trending, local and international news, the news that makes sense to you and I, the government and the uneducated market woman, the Kabu driver with the upper class lady. Let's start talking about what we want. Bridge this unnecessary gap and distrust between the government and citizens. As Nigerians, let's talk about the growth of Nigeria. Listen to the show. What's hot on Voice of the People, VOP 96.1 FM. Weekdays at 6 p.m.
96.1 FM Abuja. Good evening to you. Good evening. How's it going? I mean, the mood is right? And I'm swinging right here from wherever you are connecting to Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja, right? If you're outside the shores of Nigeria, that means that you are already a signatory, given your ears, as well as having that data, work credibly, work judiciously in plugging into the website that is our online stream platform, that is www.voiceofthepeople.ng. Get on there and discover that what I say is the truth. It's a beautiful evening. I mean, it's the 4th day in the month of July 2023, and I tell you, quite a lot of things happening, right? A lot of things that range from the part where finally INEC closes defense in Peter Obi's petition, right? A presidential election court accepts more exhibit, and just to also let you in on the fact that we also had some other documents that INEC actually admitted, I think from the EU, if I'm not mistaken, right there. There's been quite a lot going on, a lot has been going on, right? As the INEC has also called on one witness closing case in Obi Labour Party's petition. I mean, that has indeed been in the news, right? As that today, of course, we had a court session where Lawrence Bayode, an information technology practitioner, was led in the evidence by Abubakar Mahmood, INEC counsel, right? But before the witness was called, though, we saw some very interesting turnout of events where the INEC tendered some documents which were admitted and marked as exhibits, right? We also saw that during the cross-examination, Bayode said blurred documents downloaded from the result viewing portal do not affect the polling unit's results recorded in forms of the EC8As and all of that, right? So there's been quite a lot that went down, and to also look at some of the other issues, might I also bring to you the fact that as you're having a jolly good day today, or as you had a jolly good day, because right now I want to believe that you are on the roadways, right? Or you're already close to your house, awaiting the arms of a loved one as well as your children to give you a warm hug and everything. Well, giving us the ears, that means that you should also know that there are some dangers, in some habitual or some things that pertain to personal hygiene. But I'm going to drop it into your eardrums in a short bit. That will be after introducing myself. What is my name? My name is Udwak Daniel, okay? So I'll be taking you from now up until the 9 p.m. mark, okay, on the VOP clock, okay? You can always trust us when it comes to the time, and all of that. Right, now something is going on where a deadly disease or a deadly mouth disease has been found, and that is called diphtheria, right? Diphtheria. Now, it has been confirmed that out of 5 reported cases, a 4-year-old boy has paid the ultimate price. So what exactly is diphtheria? Diphtheria is a serious but rare infection of the nose and throat that easily, is preventable by a vaccine. So if you get vaccinated, you can actually prevent diphtheria, right? And it forms into a sheet of thick gray matter which covers the back of the throat. Especially it makes it pretty hard for you to breathe. Okay, so though very rare, no fewer than about 10,000 cases per year is recorded in Nigeria, and that would indeed allow you to open your mouth. Is a jaw-dropping information right there, because no fewer than 10,000 people, 10,000 cases per year, and people are just not very open to this until it happened, somewhere in ABJ, right? And it has also been seen that it was taken from Niger State, right? It came from Niger State. Now, it could also be airborne. Yeah, you can get it from airborne respiratory droplets like coughs or sneezes from somebody who has diphtheria, right? And even by the saliva, kissing, or even sharing drinks. So for you who are into the business of kissing, okay, you might want to take a little slow, you might want to slow down a bit on that one. Yeah, well, it is also very interesting to say that this disease, right? This disease was imported from neighboring Niger State. I said that before, I'm saying that again. Now, the Niger State residents, where did you get that Mbok from? Where did you get it from? Is a big question. Now, according to the director of FCT Public Health Department in the person of Sadiq Abdurrahman, 2 weeks ago, their attention was drawn to a possible outbreak of this disease in Dede, right? With 8 suspected cases reported. 8 suspected cases reported. Now, thank goodness that collaborations are on the way between 6 neighboring states in order to check further spread of the disease from contagious states through border surveillance and so on and so on and so on. So, Papa, Mama, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, it is time for you to begin to take your personal health very, very seriously, okay? Now, I'm going to bring this one to you too very quickly. This one, of course, is the matter that concerns a little brief as to the president's sojourn so far, having been the number one, citizen of the country, Nigeria. So it has become astonishingly surprising the fact that the President Bola Tinubu, who promised to hit the ground running, started with smashing the earth. Yes, as he took the flight, he smashed the earth. But 1 month in office has not only begun to change old impressions and even narrative, right? But it has also further plunged Nigeria into a state of non-recovery as we still grapple with the effects of fuel subsidy removal, the adverse effect of fuel subsidy removal. Now, it should also be taken into consideration or cognizance the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken steps that are pointing curiously into the direction of renewed hope agenda. Because that's what he calls it. He calls it the renewed hope agenda. But that was soon followed by some crucial appointments, which considered by some as a fair representation, right? As a fair representation of all the regions of the country. Now, understood, it is understandable the fact that, okay, those appointments came in when they ought to and all of that. And most Nigerians, by words of the mouth have said that this happens to be an appointment that tilts just in a bit, right, to the act that allows for equal representation, right, even though it may not be a perfect one, right? But some have also come from the places of where we understand that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to make tough choices in the overall interest of the country, yes, as a president, but without programs, without templates to salvage the sufferings of Nigerians, can we say that the people are being captured in this renewed hope agenda? Now, there are also some angles you might want to consider. Some have called it a temporary, discomfort that all must sacrifice to see through to the end. Clearly, these lots who are saying that we must sacrifice just a little bit for us to get to the promised land, this lot are probably not feeling the heat. They're not in any way affected negatively in light of the foregoing. Now, even the World Bank has come from the place of knowledge, telling the Nigerian president, telling the Nigerian economy, and those who are within the financial ranks, and saying that, hey, removal of fuel subsidy was good, right? It's a welcome development. But then there's always the issue of, what about a program, maybe a policy that should allow for Nigerians not to feel the brunt or the full brunt of the effect of subsidy? So there has been talks about there's a need for palliative, a need for programs, incentives, or matters that should cushion the effect. But how much of that have we seen so far? Now, if you also look away from the fuel subsidy, and let's get on to the appointment of secretary to the government of the federation, right? We've seen that. That's the SGF. We've seen the Senator George Akume. We've seen Chief of Staff, who in the person of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. We've seen the National Security Advisor. That will be the NSA Chief, Malam Nuhu Ribadu. We've seen the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the service chiefs across the three branches of the armed forces. Many mouths have spoken favorably of the president. However, the ball is now in the court of the service chiefs to make good of this opportunity. They have to begin to see that this is an opportunity to serve. Little wonder the president also recently sought the approval for the nomination of 20 special advisors, right from the National Assembly, fixing different people in different places, pending the appointment of ministers, just so that there is no excuse in the delivery of the dividends of democracy. Now, though the total number of appointees is less than 30, there are also some speculations. There are some speculations that there are some important people, or there are some persons who are influential players helping to shape the direction of the government. Now, some of these special advisors that you might also want to, look into include Mr. Dele Alake. He is the Special Duties Communications and Strategy, right? And we have Yo Darazo, Political and Intergovernmental Affairs. We have Wale Edun, Monetary Policies. We have Olu Virgin, right? Handling Energy. We've got Zacchaeus Adedeji, who is also looking at revenue. John Owajumogu, Industry, Trade and Investment. And of course, Salma Anas, who happens to be with the health. Now, he also appointed former managing director of the Nigeria Ports Authority. If you remember, that's the NPA. That's talking about Hadiza Bala Usman as special advisor on policy coordination, and then Hanatu Musawa as special advisor culture and entertainment economy. And then Abdullahi Abubakar Gumel, Senior Special Assistant, National Assembly Matters. Then we'll look at Olarewaju Kunle Ibrahim is Senior Special Assistant, National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives. Now, these are the people that some have also come to saying that these are the strengths of the president. The people, of course, who give you the advice, they're the ones who get to shape how your policies, how your administration is going to go. So it is also very necessary to also look from the place of where, in terms of policy, pronouncement and commensurate actions to boot the president apart from the fuel subsidy removal, it is also regrettable that the organized labor have been clipped to the corner in order to prevent what might be perceived to be an untoward action by labor and various trade unions. If you recall that while all of these was going on, in terms of the adverse effect of the fuel subsidy and all, we had the NLC, we had the TUC and all the trade unions come out calling on the government and saying, as much as what you're doing is good, there is a need to also think about the people themselves. How are the people feeling? We are the organized labor. We are closer to these people. We know their feelings. We know their yearnings. We know their pain. We know their hurts. And we are saying that when you make such pronouncements and announcements, it is very necessary for you to put a safe landing, a policy, maybe a palliative, maybe a program, maybe something. And one of such things that I know that the TUC and the NLC have demanded has been that it is overdue, especially considering the current economic dispensation, as well as what we are going through, what we are passing through, for the minimum wage to be lifted, or to be upgraded, to be reviewed upward, so that workers would be able to cushion the effect that comes with the fuel, subsidy removal. That is still in the lock. That's still in talks. That's still in the oven. We've not seen any tentative document that says, okay, this is what we have reached, this is what we have said, this is what we have agreed on. But it's always very almost shocking to see that rather than address issues that concern the people or the workers, we see a government agency that comes out to saying that there should be a 114% increase in salaries of the president, the vice president, the judges, and all political office holders. And then it makes you wonder and ask, are we really understanding that government is for the people, government is by the people, and government is of the people? Are the people really driving at the center? Are the people's yearning and aspirations being heard or listened to? Even though there was a publication that came after that saying that that should be annulled, that the president has not had any document to that effect for a 114% increment in salaries and all of that. But I mean, is this a game that we must be playing? Because at some point you will hear that the electricity, the discos have decided that July 1st there's going to be an upward review of how much we pay for electricity. And then we saw the AEDC coming out to giving, a publication and saying that, oh, please disregard any form of hike in tariff for electricity. And then finally, again, you now see a tentative report that now says, okay, you know what? We're still embarking on this. We're just waiting for the president to append the signature. So what is it with this back and forth, this game that we play every now and then? Is this playing on our emotions as Nigerians? Is it making us feel as though we are not powerful? Because the truth is, an average Nigerian is powerful. And that should not be taken from us. As much as the president is also undergoing some giant strides, it is also very important for the president to also listen, especially to the bodies that represent us. And that's what you're saying. In the past few days, that's what you've been saying. Even though the president has come out to saying that there should be a self-sacrificing, disposition for every Nigerian, And we've also seen the Senate President right there, Godswill Akpabio, coming out to saying that we need to show some support to the President. We've seen Gbajabiamila Mila talking about prayers. And we've also seen the President saying that even he himself will not be a stumbling block to progress. And I'm also very particular about the fact that the President has made it also very easy to reach out to him. He said, I'm running an open door policy. So if there is an open door policy and the NLC and the TUCs have come to you and saying that, look, this is what the people are going through, shouldn't there also be a listening ear? Shouldn't there also be some action to show the people that, hey, I have your back on this one. I feel your pain as your president. Right, but let's look at the fact that in terms of policy pronouncements and commensurate actions to put the president, we've seen issues that have caused untold hardship. And we've seen the labor trying to reach out to the governments, to the president. And we've also seen the government using the industrial court to clip the labor to a corner. I remember the labor leader right there had come out after that proposed nationwide labor strike, which didn't happen eventually because of course the industrial court had given an injunction, and he said, we are law-abiding people, citizens, and we will obey this injunction. But the question would be, for how long and how many times would the government continue to exploit the Nigerian populace using the industrial court? Injunctions here and there. When we look at the economy, right, the president suspended the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. That is the CBN governor, a former governor, right, Godwin Emefiele. And the former chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, that is the EFCC, Abdul Rashid Bawa, over alleged abuse of office. And Nigerians are asking, what is the outcome of this? I mean, you've detained them. What is the outcome? What is it? We understand. In fact, Nigerians have also hailed the president saying, oh, this is a step in the right direction. Now, I also remember coming across, publications here and there,